gotta be honest with you guys, this was a frustrating watch. Hey everyone, my name is Ryan. Today on the channel we're going to be talking about a horror film called Presence. Now this film was directed by Steven Soderbergh, and he's done the Ocean films, the Magic Mike films, Contagion, and many other films. The film stars Lucy Liu and Chris Sullivan. Now this film is about a family who moves into a suburban home in the suburbs, and they have this entity that is apparently haunting them. Now when I saw a trailer for this, I was thinking, okay, horror film, January, Neon. Neon was on fire going into this film. They've made quite a bit of films that I've actually really enjoyed, so I was really looking forward to this film. And a horror film in January? Heck yeah, I'm always game to check out a horror film. Now from a positive standpoint, I will say that the camera work here is done pretty well. I like that when they have the camera kind of zooming up the staircase and just kind of how they maneuver the camera around the house. I was really impressed with that. I think they did a really good job with that. I think the score in this film, which there really isn't a lot of it, is not too bad. Like, I think it flows during those certain points that they have the score. But that's really all I can say as far as actually really liking this film, as far as positives. Because this film, to me, it's a mess because it's marketed as a horror film and it's really a family drama. Now you have a mother and father. The mother apparently is doing something illegal. We don't really know exactly because they don't elaborate. The father, he talks about it and something going on with her job apparently. Then you have the brother who is a swimmer, and then you have the daughter who recently lost both of her friends due to drug overdose. So the entire movie takes place in this house, and it is from the ghost perspective. I think that is very interesting that it is from the ghost perspective because you basically have this camera just right there in line with each character, and it's going from room to room, or if it's going down the staircase. I was really digging that portion of the film. Now, this film is 85 minutes, and the pacing of this film, I definitely felt it. I wasn't a fan of the editing because a lot of times you'll get like a little excerpt of, let's say, like the father's talking outside, or the mother's having a conversation, or the brother's having a conversation with one of his guy friends. And after each little brief conversation, when they're cutting, the screen goes to black and then it goes to the next scene. And I wasn't a fan of that. And at first when they actually did that, I was like, did the movie go out? And then they just kept kind of continually doing that over and over. And I was like, I don't understand like that choice because I felt like it really kind of was really repetitive and it slowed down the film. To me, this, I would kind of consider this in like the found footage genre to a point, I guess because of the point of view. But at the same time, like it is a drama film more than it is a horror film. There are certain points in this film where it reminded me of like the later Paranormal Activity films. If you remember in those later Paranormal Activity films, you have like stuff being like moved around, which there's certain little points in this film where that is actually happening, but there's nothing scary that happens in this film, literally, at all. The most scariest thing that happens in this film is literally a shelf falling down from a closet. It really aggravates me that you have a film that is marketed as a horror film, and it's completely not that. Pretty much, like I said, the entirety of this film is watching the drama kind of unfold with this family. There's also this boy that's coming over, and then you have the daughter who is really mourning the loss of her friends. And this boy is basically her screwing around buddy, basically. And that's kind of like the big plot points of this film. Like nothing else is going on. You're just waiting and waiting and waiting for something to happen. I have no clue what anybody is thinking as far as like loving this film. Like I really don't understand because this film is just a bore. Like, I'm sitting there, like, checking my phone, like, how long are we into this film? Like, when is this going to pick up? There's a twist that happens within the third act, and I honestly think it was very unwarranted. I thought it was stupid. It just didn't really match with the film, and just kind of like the fact that this ghost, it's not like an angry ghost, it's not an evil ghost, it's a good ghost. And the ghost does certain things throughout this film to help certain characters. And within the third act, the ghost doesn't really do a whole lot. So I don't really know, like, what was the purpose of the ghost, I guess, other than just showing us, like, the bird eye view of this family, just kind of like walking around and talking. Another thing I didn't agree with this film is there's a lot of points where literally the characters are talking, like, in a said room, and they must live on, like, the busiest street in America, because you constantly hear in the background cars zooming by. I don't know why they couldn't have some noise cancellation for the vehicles that were coming by, but that's all I kept thinking as characters were talking and the cars are zooming by. I'm like, my gosh, does, like, that neighborhood ever quiet down? Like, cars are constantly zooming by. I mean, I don't know what the heck they were thinking with that. That didn't really need to be needed, but I do think, like, the camera, when it does actually have certain shots with characters talking outside, I think there's some interesting viewpoints. I think from, like, that artistic perspective, like, if you're a filmmaker and you're studying just, like, camera work, like, yeah, that is a good part about this film. But when it comes to just, like, a narrative or, like, something to really engage you, I'm sorry, this film was just absolute garbage. And I can just guarantee by the end of the year, like, this will be on the top 20, like, worst film. Even if you get scared or jump scared easily, if you're not someone that can really stomach a horror film, or if you just get really scared easily, I promise you, there's nothing that is going to scare you in this film. It is just such a disappointment from that aspect. Overall, I didn't really dive too much into the characters. Everything was pretty surface level. It just wasn't that interesting. So as far as a score for me, I would give it a 1 out of 5. I wish I could have liked this film, but I'm sorry. Even with the camera work being good and, like, certain small little elements here and there, it just was a slog to get through, and I had a frustrating time sitting there just watching this for 85 minutes and just nothing happens. And just the ending. Oh my gosh, the ending is so freaking bad. Totally out of left field. And the twist just didn't work for me at all. That's my thoughts on Presence. Let me know in the comments, what did you guys think about this film? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you just think it was kind of meh? And let me know, what is your favorite neon movie? Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time.